The Satavahana phase. The most important native successor of the Mauryas in the north were Shungas, followed by the Kanwas. In the Deccan and central India, Satavahanas succeeded the Mauryas, although after a gap of 100 years. At a gap of 100 years, Satavahanas succeeded the Mauryas. Pre-Satavahana settlement are indicated by the finds of red ware, black and red ware and russet-coated painted ware at many sites in the Deccan. The use of iron, plough, share, paddy transplantation, the growth of urbanism, writing, etc. created conditions for estate formation under Satavahanas. Okay, so the urbanism coming, paddy transplantation, that it is like completely technological kind of things, innovation kind of things is coming, and this lead to the state formation under Satavahanas. The earliest inscription of Satavahanas related to the 1st century BC, when they defeated the Kanwas and established the power in the part of central India. The early Satavahanas king ruled in Maharashtra, where their earliest coin and inscriptions have been found. That earliest Satavahanas rule found in Maharashtra as earliest coin and inscriptions were found. The Satavahana extended their power over Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh also, that Andhra. Their greatest competitors were the Shakas, who had established the power in the upper Deccan and western India. As I have already talked about Shakas and Kushans, you can go on my channel and look for that video. So one time the Satavahana lost their control by Shakas in Maharashtra and western India. The fortunes of the family were restored by Gautami Putra Satkarni, who called himself the only Brahman. He defeated the Shakas and destroyed many Kshatriya rulers. Like in early, they were defeated by Shakas, but later by Gautami Putra Satkarni, who called himself Brahmanical. Right, Gautami Putra Satkarni, who used to call himself Brahmanical, and he defeated Shakas and destroyed many Kshatriya rulers. He has ended Kshatrapas, Satraps lineage, to which he adversely Nashpan belonged. Like if you go through the videos of my earlier videos, Kushans and all, you will understand this. So he occupied Malwa and Kathiawar, which were controlled by the Shakas. He occupied Malwa, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and Kathiawar, which were controlled by the Shakas. His rule extended from Malwa in the north of Karnataka in the south, and possibly general authority over Andhra. The successor of Gautami Putra Kulkarni ruled till 220 AD. The coins and inscriptions of his immediate successor Vashishtra Putra Pulmai AD 354 have been found in Andhra, and by middle of 2nd century this area had been a part of Satavahana kingdom. The Shakas resumed their conflict with Satavahanas for the possession of the Konkan coast and Malwa. Like again Shakas came for the possession of the Konkan coast and Malwa region. So Rudradaman I, I have talked also about him. The Shakas ruler of Rudradaman I, I have talked about my Kushan and Shakas video lecture. You can find, but it is not important. Okay, the Shaka ruler of Saurashtra defeated the Satavahanas twice, but did not destroy them because of shared matrimonial relations. Okay, so the material culture under Deccan or Satavahanas was a fusion of local elements and northern ingredients, and the megalithic builder of the Deccan were fairly well acquainted with the use of iron and agriculture. So they were getting iron, agriculture, plough, all these were getting used. Blacksmith shops were there. ages, razors, axes, spades, plowshares, all these were being used by the Satavahanas. So it means the iron was present there, they were using those technology. So Deccan developed a very advanced rural economy. The people of the Deccan were aware of the art of, so the Deccan developed a very advanced rural economy, and the people of the Deccan were aware of the art such as the people of the Deccan were aware of the art of paddy transplantation, and in the first 2 centuries of the Christian era, the area between Krishna and Godavari, especially at the mouth of the two rivers from the rise of Ball, that forms the rise of Ball. The people of the Deccan also formed that two rivers formed a great rise of Ball. So the people of the Deccan also produced cotton. In foreign accounts, Andhra is considered to be the famous for cotton products. Thus, a substantial part of the Deccan developed a very advanced rural economy. Okay. And what was the family structure during the Satavahanas? It is a very important thing. So in the Aryan society of the North India, the father enjoyed a great importance than the mother, and the North Indian princes generally belonged to a patriarchal society. That if your name, the title of your name will be inherited from your father's family, not your mother's family. But the Satavahanas, however, show the traces of a matrilineal social culture. The Satavahana shows the traces of a matrilineal social structure. It was customary for their king to be named after his mother, such as Gautami Putra and Vashishti Putra, indicate that in the society mother enjoyed a great deal of importance. At present, the Peninsula India, the son's name included a part of the father's name, and there is no place in its mother's, indicative patriarchal influence. Like now, if you go to the Peninsular India, you will see that the son's name includes the part of the father's only, not the mother's name. However, the Satavahana's ruling family was basically patriarchal because succession to the throne passed to the male member. Like, however, but if the question come like give an example of matrilineal social structure, so Satavahanas, you can give the example as a Satavahanas. So, however, ruling family was basically patriarchal because succession to the throne passed to male member. Okay, this is the point. Like if the female daughter used to get the throne, then we can say that it is true matrilineal social structure. Okay. And the administrative structure of Satavahanas. So the Satavahanas retained some administrative structure of Ashoka, that administrative Satavahanas. The Satavahanas king is represented as possession. Like we can see that they represent themselves as the divine structure such as Bhim, Keshav, Arjun, and compared complete powerful or supernatural forces within them. So now what is the administration structure of Satavahanas? The Satavahanas retained some administrative structure of Ashokan times, they retained the administrative structure of, have some structure. Ashokan time, their district was called Ahar, and is what called, and it was known in time of Ashoka, and their officials were known as Amatyas or Mahamatras, as was the case in Maurya times, that their districts was called Ahar and officials were known as Amatyas and Mahamatras, as were in the Mauryan times and in the Ashokan times. However, their administrative divisions were called Rashtra, and their high officials were styled as Maharashtrikas, that their divisions were also called Rashtra, and their high officials were styled as Maharashtrikas. And it has been noticed that there were military and feudal traits in the administrative of Satavahanas. The administration in the rural areas was placed in the hands of Golmika, the head of military regiment consisting of 9 chariots, 9 elephants, 24 horses and 45 foot soldiers. Okay, that the administration in the rural areas was placed in the hands of Golmika, with Golmika the head of the military regiment that consists of 9 chariots, 9 elephants for each villages. So 9 elephants, 24 horses and 45 foot soldiers. You have to maintain it. Okay. And what was the tax structure in Satavahanas? The Satavahanas started the practice of granting tax-free villages to Brahmins and Buddhist monks. The cultivated fields and villages granted to them were declared free from intrusion by royal policemen, soldiers and other royal officers. These areas therefore became a small independent islands within the Satavahana kingdom. So they were not collecting any tax, practice of granting tax-free villages, and the highest grade was formed in the king was called Raja, and the right to strike coins, and the second grade was formed as the Mahabhoj, and the third grade of the Senapati. In the 3 grade where comes in the kingdom, that the highest grade was called Raja, then Mahabhoj, then Senapati. It seems that the feudatories and landed beneficiaries enjoyed some authority in their respective localities. So what were the religions and beliefs of Satavahanas? Satavahanas ruled were Brahmins, and they represent the march of triumphant Brahmanism. King and queens used to perform Vedic sacrifices as Ashwamedha, Vajpayee, paying liberal sacrifices fees to the Brahmins. That taking as they are considered as Brahmins, do Vedic sacrifices as Ashwamedha and Vajpayee, where the horse were as a bali and all. They also worshipped large number of gods such as Krishna and Vasudeva. They promoted Buddhism by granting land to the monks. Nagarjun Konda, Amravati in Andhra Pradesh became important seats of Buddhist culture, and Satavahanas and more two under successors of Ishkavakus. So architectural view of Satavahanas phase was like monasteries was there, chaitya, sacred shrines, solid rock in northwestern Deccan and Maharashtra with great skill and patience were made in Maharashtra. The construction were Buddhist temple and also Chaitya monastery were also called Vihara. It was also constructed in the Satavahana period. Like rock culture architecture also found in Andhra in Krishna Godavari region, but the region is mostly famous for independent Buddhist structure, mostly in the form of stupas. And the most famous of them are Amravati and Nagarjun Konda. Okay. And the language during Satavahanas phase, the official language of the Satavahanas, uh, the official language during the Satavahanas was Prakrit, and all their inscriptions were composed in this language and written in the Brahmi script, as was the case in Ashokan times. And some Satavahanas king may have composed in Prakrit books, and one Prakrit text called Gatha Satsai, Gatha Saptasiti is attributed to Satavahana king Hala. There is no need to remember it all. Just consider that they were written in the Prakrit form. Okay, that's it. Thank you.